What up, your boy MC Shadow, still on the IE. We still got like 3 more to do on the IE, but right here, be bringing Colton, Rialto, and Ontario. I'm gonna put it down for all the, riders out there, in them cities, and starting off with.
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment. Make sure you subscribe and check out the playlist.
I grew up hearing gunshots in the late night. Ghetto bird, police sirens as a mother cries. Just another victim of the Soundbrown genocide. Locals posted, locked and loaded, ready to take lives. And when they heard the chieflet, they would duck up out of sight. Like your car when the sun down, it was mission time. You had to stay alert, cause bullets always travel blind. We stayed posted, we stayed drinking, and we getting high. Marchando down the enemy's neighborhood as we ride. Put the hood, put the clica sample, fuck their side. No regrets, but the truth is no peace of mind.
G-File.
Starting off with Ontario Barrio Sur. Now, Ontario Barrio Sur is an old school neighborhood, been around since the 1940s. Notorious neighborhood right here. They with the business. They large as fuck. They deep as fuck. They with it. Man, they definitely put in their work, man. You can find them right there on Belmont Street and D Street, on Vine, on Sunkist Street. All of that. You know what I mean? Now, the clique that's, the most notorious that you hear about them, that, people hear about, is the Black Angels. So the Black Angels is Ontario Barrio Sur. Now, there was an Earth Angels one, but that one doesn't exist no more. It's kind of died out. It was a part of the same neighborhood, but there was beef between the two cliques. But, Black Angels ended up winning at the end. Because, like I'm saying, man, they deep as fuck, and they with the business, you know what I mean? Been around since the 1940s, and shit, they pretty much got all, that side on lockdown. You know what I mean? These fools definitely, are with the business, you know what I mean? Shout out to the homie Vampy, shout out to Bones from Black Angels, with it homies right there, and shout out to all the Black Angels that be doing their thing. Here we have Northside Ontario. Northside Ontario is roughly smaller. Haven't been around, that long, you know what I mean? Well, they're old school too, since the 80s, but like longer than like Barrio Ontario, you know what I mean? Since the late 70s, early 80s, right there on Calaveras Street is where you can find them. Like I said, roughly small, but nonetheless, man, they be holding their own right there, and, you can still find them active right there. Now, here you have Eastside Ontario. Now, Eastside Ontario has only been around since the late 80s. It used to be a tagging crew before. It was YGW, which stood for Youths Gone Wild. You can find them right there on 4th, is where their neighborhood's at. But even though they're not, their territory is small, and they're not that old school, hey, they waited, man, because they've been able to survive, this long right there, going at it with bigger neighborhoods. And, yeah, man, they still right there, keeping it active. Here you have Northside Colton. Now, Northside Colton has been around since the 60s, 50s. You can find them right there on Rancho, on Rialto Avenue, and on Laurel is where their neighborhood's at. They're an old school neighborhood too, like I said, since the, the 50s, 60s, around that time frame. And they used to be large. Now they're not as large as they used to be. But nonetheless, man, they with the business, and they still right there, still holding down their turf, decades later, you know what I mean? And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie Coyote from Northside Colton, Firme homie. Shout out to the homies from Colton that do their thing. Here you have the oldest neighborhood in Colton, which is Southside Colton, been around since the 40s, so 10 years before even the Northside Colton. You can find them right there, the south of the 10 freeway on Rancho and Fog. The neighborhood is not that large, even though they do run all of South Colton. It's not that large, but nonetheless, man, they with it, they deep, and you definitely hear about them. They keep it active, and they definitely be smashing on everybody, you know what I mean, and holding their own, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's up with them. Shout out to the homie Sharky from Southside Colton, Firme homie, and shout out to the homies from Colton. Now here you have Eastside Colton. They're on the north of the 10 freeway. They're roughly new neighborhood, only since the 80s, 89, 90, around there. You can find them on La La Cadena Drive and Hannon. Hannon is their main, clique, so it's their main street where they be at. Like I said, they roughly new, but nonetheless, man, if anything, they're probably the deepest and the most active right now out of all the sets. Maybe next to South Colton. Man, you definitely see their activity, and they definitely, be handling business over here. You know what I mean? That's Eastside Colton. Here you have Westside Rialto. Now, Westside Rialto is, roughly new, been around since like the 90s. They're roughly small. You know what I mean? They don't really got that, like that big of territory. You know what I'm saying? You can find them right there on Cactus and Riverside is where their neighborhood's at. And yeah, they're just right there holding it down. Here you have Northside Rialto, High Life. It's the name of this neighborhood. You can find them right there on Riverside and Willow on Baseline. Probably the oldest one out of the Rialtos, but not the deepest. But yeah, they definitely right there holding it down for their neighborhood, and you know what I mean. They pretty big. Yeah, that's what's up with Northside Rialto. Now here you have Eastside Rialto. Now you can find them right there on Foothill and Riverside on Mateo Avenue. It's where Eastside Rialto's at. And yeah, they been around since the late 70s, early 80s. Definitely with the business, handling their pedos right there, going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods and, putting their neighborhood on the map, you know what I mean? And yeah, shout out to the home. Here you have probably the most known neighborhood out of Rialto. Probably the largest is South Rialto, which is their main clique that you hear the most is Sage Street. You can find them right there on Randall and Willow and Pepper. So where their neighborhoods at. Sage Street, hey, they with the business, homie. They keep it active. I know you hear about them. I know you see the activity, and they with the function, homie. They ain't playing over there. They handle business. You know what I mean? So shout out to the homie Shady from Sage Street. And shout out to all the homies from Sage Street that be doing their thing, you know what I mean? Here you have RTS. Now, RTS is a neighborhood that's been around since the late 80s, early 90s. Now, RTS stands for Rialto 12th Street in letter format, or you can see it in number format, and obviously they're right there on 12th. Probably the newest one out of the Rialto neighborhoods. But nonetheless, man, they with the business, and they ain't no pushovers, they ain't no chums. They definitely be right there representing for their neighborhood, and you know what I mean? They're going at it with everybody over there, and holding down their neighborhood right there.